Yeah. Hi guys. That Appium interview questions that are mostly asked right in the interviews. Right. Appium interview questions. I have covered mostly basic, advanced, right, moderate and advanced questions. Right. These are all moderate questions, and then basic, moderate, advanced questions. Right. We will cover these things. Right, just subscribe to the channel, right, enable the notification. You will get whenever more coming, right. These are all the more interesting questions, right. You will get notified whenever video is uploaded. Please subscribe to the channel. Right, we will quickly start with the APM interview questions. Basic questions. We'll start with the basic questions. Right, what is APM? Right. We know what is Appium. Appium is a open source mobile automation tool. Right. It will support Android and iOS platform. Right. To automate the Android and iOS applications, we will use this Appium. This is a open source. Right. We can automate what type of applications? Native applications, mobile web applications, hybrid applications. Right. All right. It will use the WebDriver protocol, right? Protocol to interact with the mobile devices. Right, what is an APM? That is a simple question, basic question. What are the prerequisites for running APM on Android? Right, what are the prerequisites? This is one more interesting, right, interview question we can expect. Definitely we can 100% we can expect this. Right, first we need to install the JDK version. Right, we can tell what JDK version we have installed, either JDK 11 or 17 or right 21. Right, whichever JDK we have installed those things. Android SDK. Right, and next one is we must write Android SDK. Right, then we need to set the environment variable for Java and then SDK. And then Node.js. Right, we must install Node.js because Appium, right? Whatever we will install Appium, we need to install Appium. Right, Appium is implemented on Node.js. So we must before installing Appium, Node.js must be installed. Node.js npm will come along with the Node.js. npm will come along with the Node.js. Then Appium server, then Appium inspector. Right, to find the locators. Right, we need a Appium inspector. Then Appium drivers. Right, UI automator too. Right, Appium driver we need to install. And then if you want to test the real device, we need to enable USB debugging. Or if you want virtual device, we have to create the emulators in Android SDK. By using Android SDK, we can create emulators. Right, these are the prerequisites. Right, we have to install to work with the Appium Android automation. What types of applications can Appium automate on Android? Right, we can do native apps. Right, install from Google Play Stores or APKs. Right, these can be written in Java language or Kotlin or different languages. Native apps are that are installed from the Google Play Store or APKs. Hybrid app means web-based apps wrapped in a native shell. Right, using it will support both right native and suppose if you take a Flipkart, Amazon, right, this will have a apps, native apps plus web also. Right, web also, web-based apps in native shell. Right, it will support both the native view, web view, mobile web. Right, what which are opened via mobile browsers. Right, mobile browsers. We can open if you open any website. Those are all mobile web apps. Right, these are the three types of native apps, hybrid app, mobile web apps. It will support. How do you locate elements in Appium? How do you locate elements in Appium? Right, elements can be located using resource ID. Correct, resource ID. By.id, by using by.id, example driver.find element by.id. Right, resource if we element has a resource ID property, right, we can identify by using by.id. Suppose accessibility ID. For accessibility ID, this resource ID is different, accessibility ID is different. We cannot identify accessibility ID by using by.id, right, it will fail. If it has a resource ID, then we can find by.id. Appium by accessibility ID, we can identify by using Appium by dot accessibility ID. That is content description. Either it will be accessibility ID, content description, both are same. Right, we can identify by using Appium by dot accessibility ID. Right, class name. Right, class name. Right, class name. Mostly class names are right. We will not use, but right, if you want to use by dot class name. Right, some example is Android.widget.button. This is the class name of the button. By dot export. By dot export. And CSS locator not widely used in mobile automation. Right, we will not use CSS locator in mobile automation. Right, XPath we will use. XPath class name, content description, right, accessibility ID, by dot ID. These are the mostly used. And mobile by Android UI automator. Right, mobile by Android UI automator. Mobile by Android UI automator. This is one more important locator. Right, mobile by Android UI automator. We can use this one also. Right. These are the different locators. Right, by dot ID, accessible Appium by accessibility ID, by dot class name, by dot XPath, CSS selector we will not use. Mobile by Android UI automator. Right, these are the mostly used locators. Right, what happens when you call get attribute on Android element? Right, whenever we will call, suppose I have a web element, if we call get attribute of name, what will happen if the element is a text view? It return the text value. If it is a right tag names, right? If the tag is a text view, it returns the text value. If it is not a text view, it returns the content description, accessibility ID. It will return the content description. Right. Then how do you start Appium server programmatically? Right. This is also one more important question. How do you start Appium server programmatically? Right. We can use Appium service builder object. Right. Appium service builder class Appium. We can create the object for Appium service builder with the Appium JS. We have to give the where is the JS, right, to recognize this is the important thing. Right, with the Appium JS, where is the what is the location of it? We can dynamically also get it. Right, a new file of main.js location, and then with IP address, we write where we want to run it, and using port, which port we want to run. Right, if you want to add any arguments, we can add it. With multiple arguments, we can add it. Right, dot build. Then once you build it, it will build all the steps. It will return the Appium driver local service object. Right, Appium driver local service object. Then we can start it. Service dot start it. It will start the server. Then once it is done, we can stop it. Right, by using Appium service builder, we can start the server Appium server. How do you inspect elements in Android app using Appium? Right, if you want to inspect Android, right, Android app, we can use the right Appium inspector. First we need to start the Appium server, then Appium inspector. We have to download Appium inspector and connect to either real device or emulator. We can give that to connect to the from the Appium inspector. If you want to connect to Appium right this devices, we have to give platform name, device name, app package, app activity. App package and app activity are optional. Platform name, device name. Right, these two are we must give. Then we can connect to the mobile. Then we can start the session and inspect the elements. Right, how do you switch between native and WebView? Right, in the hybrid app. Suppose if you are using hybrid app, how do you switch? Right, driver dot get context handles. Right, in Selenium we have a window handle. Right, similarly here also driver dot get context handles. It will return the set of context. We have a two views only here. We will have two views. WebView, right? WebView one is native view. WebView native view. Right? We can print what are the views available. If you want to switch to the native view, it is very simple. Driver dot context native underscore app. This is fixed. If you want to switch to native app. But WebView, if you want to switch, right? Driver dot context WebView underscore app right? Particular app package we have to give app package, right? Otherwise we can give switch condition and we can verify if it is not a native app, then we can switch that also. We can do that. Just add simple if condition. Right, like this we can switch to WebView native app. How do you handle permissions in Android app using Appium? Right, suppose if you want to give permission to camera app, right, runtime.get runtime.execute. Here this is a Java code, right? Then we can use the adb command, adb shell, right, pm grant. What is the app we want here? We have to give the app package. We have to give the package, right? Then how do you perform swipe action using Appium? We can use touch action, but it is deprecated. It is deprecated in the 2.x. If you are using 1.x, you can use touch action, or if you are using 2.x, it is using W3 actions. Right, a little lengthy, but we have to use in 2.x and W3 because 2.x is based on W3 standards, right? We have to use W3 supported code only, so that it will work on all the devices. How to use? First we have to create the pointer input object. Alright, then touch. Right, we can give the parameter as a touch and finger. This is any variable, just we have given finger. Right, first we have to give the pointer input. That is like our finger. Right, first we have created the pointer input. That is like our finger. Then sequences. What sequences, right? You want to suppose swipe action, right? This is the swipe action, right? You will keep the finger on the whichever, right, somewhere, and we will just swipe the menu, right, swipe the view, right? For that sequence object, what are the sequences we have to give? First we have to do what, create a pointer move, right? Where from where we want to move, right? First I want to move from viewport 500 to 1500, right? Add action. Swipe has a sequence. This is the sequence object. We have to add different actions. What are the actions we have to do? First pointer move, we have to create the pointer move from the starting position to, right, from starting position we will move. Then press down, right, we have to press down the finger and then move from where I want to move, right, then move the action. This is the create pointer move, right, wait for, right, some milliseconds. Just we are pressing down our finger and waiting, and we are swiping to 500 comma 500, right, these pixels. Right, then add action, create a point up. Once it is done, we will move our finger up. Right, a little bit lengthy code. Right, just we can get it easily. Right, this code. Then driver dot perform. We have to convert this all the, right, this swipe action into list. Erase dot as list swipe. Driver dot perform erase dot as list. We can give this swipe object all the sequences. It will execute. Right, how do you check logs while executing the test? Right, suppose if you want to check the logs of it application, right, we can start the Appium. While starting the application, Appium hyphen log level debug. Appium hyphen log level debug. Right, we can start the server, right, by enabling debug mode. Then capture the logs in the code. Driver.manage.logs.get logcat to string. It will give the all the logs. Whenever we will call this up to that, right, up to that test case executed, right, those are all logs it will give. So next one is why does Appium show invalid argument exception? Right, invalid locator while switching to WebView. Right, usually we will get this exception while moving, right, switching from native view to WebView. Why? Possible reason is mismatch of Chrome version between the emulator and the Appium Chrome driver. Right, mismatch of Chrome versions between the your emulator and the Appium Chrome driver. Right, to fix this, check Chrome version on the emulator. Right, we will install emulator. Right, we have to check what is the Chrome version there in the emulator. Right, now we can use some command, right? ADB command, ADB shell dumps package. This version of the Chrome. What is the version of the Chrome in the emulator? Right, install the correct one. If it is not the correct one, then install the correct one. Uninstall and install the correct version. Right, this is the solution for it. Right, next one is what is UI Automator 2 and why is it used? Right, UI Automator is a default automation engine for Appium Android. Right, to communicate between, right, this is a bridge between like server to Appium server to right mobile devices. Server to mobile device. If you want to communicate, we must have a UI Automator too. Right, it will increase stability, speed, and element detection. Right. If you want to enable this UI Automator too, we have to tell in the capability while executing the code. We have to give automation name UI Automator too. Right. How do you handle toast message in Appium? Right, toast messages are like right. We can use the driver.find element by.xpath. Right, we can use that. It will come very quickly and go away. Right, sometimes may not work. And based on that, we have to write it. Or enable. Sometimes if it is not working, means we can set the capability enable toast detection. Right, sometimes we are unable to detect those toast messages. We can capability add enable toast detection too, so that we can right, we can view those, handle those toast messages. And how do you automate an app without the APK file? Correct, already app is installed, but I don't have a APK file. Then how to automate such type of things? Then if you know the app package, app activity, then fine. App package, app activity, we can get it easily, right? By using APK info, we can install APK info in the mobile, we can get that. Or by using the dump sys command. Right, app package, app activity, no reset true. Right, we will not install. If you set true means it will not uninstall the app. If you set false, it will uninstall. Right, please carefully here. No reset means true. We have to set. Right, then we can use. These are the different right basic questions. Right, right, subscribe to the channel. Right, if you have any comments, right, with any questions, please feel to comment it out. Right, in the next session we will see what are the moderate questions. Right, if you are more interested in the next session, please comment it out. Right, I will continue with the next session. Thanks for watching.